For decades, one of the biggest mysteries in One Piece has been staring us right in the face. What does the initial D actually mean? Well, today, we're going to unpack a pretty mind-blowing theory that says the answer isn't something you read, it's something you hear.
So our first clue has been hiding in plain sight, or I guess plain hearing, for this entire journey. It's a sound that seems to show up at the most important, world-changing moments in the story.
No, for real, think about it for a second. From Skypiea all the way to Wano, whenever history is being made, whenever destiny itself seems to shift, what do you hear? There's always this distinct, rhythmic beat in the background. It's almost like the heartbeat of the world itself.
And look, this is absolutely not a coincidence. This observation is the bedrock of the entire theory. Those drums aren't just there for dramatic effect. They're a signal. They're a remnant of a history that was lost a long time ago, trying to break through into today.
So how in the world does a sound connect to the series' greatest enigma? Well, let's get into it and try to decode the D.
Okay, so here's the core idea, and it's kind of wild. You have to forget everything you thought about the D being some family name or the first letter of a lost kingdom. This theory asks us to look at it from a completely new perspective. You see, in ancient musical notation, there's this symbol, a half-circle shape called a semibreve. It just represents a specific beat, a single note held for a certain amount of time. The theory suggests the D isn't a letter at all. It's a piece of a lost musical score. So let's just compare these two ideas. The old theory says it's a name, a clan, right? But this new interpretation is way more radical. It suggests the D isn't a who, it's a what. It's a specific beat in an ancient song, the drums of liberation.
And hey, if the D is a note, that implies there has to be a song. And it might just be a song we all know and love, but one whose true purpose has been a secret this whole time.
That's right, Banks Sake. This theory proposes it's not just a fun drinking song for pirates. It's a coded message. It's a rhythmic map that carries the very sound, the very frequency of the history that was completely erased during the Void Century.
This idea paints such a fascinating picture of history. Just imagine, back in the Great Kingdom, history wasn't just written down, it was composed. But during the Void Century, the world government silenced that song for 800 years. And now, in our story, a new rhythm is finally starting to beat again.
And who's the one bringing that rhythm back? The one whose very heart beats to the sound of those ancient drums. Come on, you already know. It's Monkey D. Luffy.
And I mean this literally. It is not a metaphor. That distinct, almost cartoonish Dande Goko rhythm of Luffy's heart in Gear 5 is the sound of the drums of liberation. He has literally become the percussion for this ancient song.
And that means his power-up is so much more than just a personal transformation. Luffy's heartbeat becomes the drum that can synchronize with everyone else carrying the D. You know, the other notes in the symphony. He is literally restarting the song the world tried to forget.
So, what does this all mean for the end of the story? Well, if this theory is true, the final war won't be fought like any other. It's going to be a war won by a chorus.
Let's think about the enemy for a moment. What is the one thing the world government has feared and suppressed for 800 long years? It's not the revival of some specific family or a lost kingdom, at least not in the traditional sense. That's just what they want everyone to believe. Their greatest fear is a sound, a piece of music so powerful, so resonant, that it actually holds the key to their destruction. Think about what that really means. This isn't a war of ideals or politics, it's a war of physics. The theory says that this song, when performed correctly, generates a frequency so powerful it can literally shatter the red line, the very symbol of the world government's division and control. So the final act could play out something like this. First, every single person carrying the D unites. Then, led by Luffy's heartbeat, they all synchronize, sounding their one note, their D, at the exact same time. This creates a global resonant frequency, a vibration that shatters the red line and finally liberates the world, breaking that 800-year silence. The final war isn't won with a punch, but with a chord. And that leaves us with one final awesome question. We know who the drum is, and we have a pretty good idea of who the other notes are. But in this world-changing symphony, who's going to be the one to stand up and conduct the final performance? Let me know what you think.